Welcome to the Black Liberation Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renee Jordan. This podcast is a accumulation of Dr. Jordan's dissertation work and her passion for empowering Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women, and girls to navigate the academic and professional worlds with confidence and success. Whether you're a mother or guardian guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, an undergrad or grad student, someone working on a dissertation or thesis, or simply looking to carve out your niche in the career landscape, this podcast is for you. Each episode, Dr. Jordan shares her story, offers invaluable advice, and provides practical coaching to help you thrive in school, work, and beyond. Join our community on patreon.com/Black Liberation Tech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll gain exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. You're also welcome to follow Black Liberation Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventure in Inglés o Español. Tune in, get inspired, and let's embark on this journey together. Welcome to Black Liberation Tech, where your success story begins. Hello, I hope you're doing well today. I am going to talk through what I've done so far on the AI lessons. So far, what I have done, if you were to visit blackliberation.tech, the website, I'll put it in the chat, you would be able to see, I'll get the link to the actual lessons. So here's the link to the lessons that I have developed so far on blackliberation.tech. I started off with some things that could be explored by anyone who was interested. All they had to do was go through the different topics underneath Explore. But then after someone reviewed the website, they were like, okay, so where do I start if I'm just jumping in? So let's say that I'm not the facilitator of the actual program that's going on. Where can they go in order to get step-by-step steps on how to move in Black Liberation Tech? And so that's what I worked on yesterday. And so I'm going to explain that. If you are on my Patreon, then you will be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that those who are on my Patreon will be able to follow along where I am. So once again, if you go to blackliberation.tech, you will see the home page. Please note that at the top of the page, you have a button for Espanol. So one of the things that I'm making a conscious effort in doing, making sure that I have available the lessons not only in English, but also in Spanish. I do know a bit. I have 5 years of learning when it comes to Spanish. And so I do know some Spanish well enough to investigate things if they look funny, but also because I know Spanish, I know that sometimes you need to ask more so for the gist of what you're saying as opposed to word for word translation. And so if you're using Google to get to this site, then you are able to toggle between, if you're using Google Chrome, you're able to toggle between Spanish and English. And so this is the Spanish site, so it needs to be in Spanish. So this is what it looks like in Spanish. You would go to Lesiones and you will be able to see the lessons from there. And this first section is talking about careers, and it has the different list of fields and industries, if you will. I'm going to go to the English side to help myself out. And so here we have blackliberation.tech. I'm going to go to lessons. Underneath lessons, I have here careers. And it starts off by saying, careers, discover diverse tech careers and a few of the women who make up these spaces, explore paths and opportunities, uncovering hidden possibilities in the ever-evolving tech world. And so these are the lessons that I have prepped so far. As you can see here, it says lesson, select a lesson ID. So I have them labeled C1 3.0 and the title through C1, well, C4.2 with each with its own indication. So the point O's are all dedicated to explorations. The 1.1s are going to talk about navigating, and the 1.2s are going to talk about how to pursue it. So how do you get there? What paths can you take in order to get to where you want to go? Now, this took some thought because I needed to leave the lesson open enough for people to explore themselves based on who they are and where they are. Now, just follow along. So as you can see, I have the different lessons, but I have a list of fields listed before you get started. I recommend that you go to the different fields and take a look. What are you interested in? And what you can do, you can say, you know what? I am interested in educational services. So I'm going to highlight that, copy it, and I'm going to paste it to a Word document just so that I have it when I want to come back to it later during the lessons. So I have the educational services highlighted. Once again, thank you for joining me. I'm going to drop where I am in the chat so you can follow along if you want to. I'm at the Black Liberation Tech website on lessons. And so what you can do, once again, you go to blackliberation.tech to the lesson section. And right now I've selected educational services because that's something that I'm interested in. But you know what? I'm also interested in art, entertainment, and recreation. So I'm going to copy that and paste it to a Word document so I can save that for later. And I'm also interested in, with my public policy degree, I'm also interested in public administration. And so that is going to get at things that are run by the government, in short. So think about the different municipalities that you have available in your city, your town, your county, your state. On the national level, public administration is going to deal with those spaces and can also include nonprofits. It's going to cover a whole array of things. In fact, it's going to cover all of these other traditional areas. And I say that because it does, it doubles over. So this is an aside, but like with public administration, I have an actual classmate who's not only in public administration, meaning that she's working for a county government agency, she's actually working in transportation. So she has an MPA, a Master's of Public Administration, but she has a focus on transportation specifically. And with that, she's worked with places like GDOT. She's also worked with MARTA. She's also worked with one of the counties in Atlanta, Georgia, or near Atlanta, Georgia, I should say. And so that could be something that she could pull for herself. So those are the traditional fields that I'm interested in. So just to recap, educational services, arts, entertainment, and recreation. And I'm specifically myself, I'm interested in arts and then public administration. So how the government intervenes in that section or how public funding intervenes. So I am in higher education. It is a private institution. However, my jobs that I have held at the institution since my start have all been funded by federal and private grants. And so that's a piece of public administration that is important to consider, because when people apply for grants, they're asking, when they're federal grants, they're asking to use taxpayers' dollars to provide services wherever there's a gap in service. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at the emerging or interdisciplinary fields. And so I am interested in artificial intelligence. Now, machine learning, that part, I'm not going to go that far into it. I have a high level understanding in terms of the general idea of machine learning, but I'm just going to highlight the artificial intelligence piece because I'm interested in artificial intelligence from a prompt engineer standpoint. So someone who creates the instructions, and in my case, I'm using no code prompt engineering with OpenAI, so ChatGPT in particular, so that I can give it instructions to carry out tasks. And with depending upon what type of AI you're using, those tasks can be anywhere from writing, it can be creating chat bots, it could be for generating images. And in my case, for today, I'm going to work with ChatGPT. So I'm going to be looking at writing prompts that will require ChatGPT to reply in writing. And I also could take a look at images as well. The images on ChatGPT, I have to say, they're not as refined as the ones that are dedicated to generating images. So when you're talking about Journey, or if you're talking about some other ones that I will list somewhere, those have a higher quality when it comes to the images they create. So I'm just going to highlight and copy this part right here, artificial intelligence. That's another one of my areas of interest. And so I have that going. Now, cybersecurity, yes, I'm interested in it, but for more so from the standpoint to make sure that I'm an informed user. Data science, yes, but not today. Robotics, digital health, and telemedicine. So these are the different types of emerging interdisciplinary fields. Not quite so much. Blockchain technology, augmented reality, Internet of Things, user experience and user design. I am actually interested in UX research. I have a general understanding of human computer interaction, but my focus is going to be on something that is more UX, UI, so user experience and user interface. So when it comes to people actually engaging with my site, I want to know, does it work for them? Does it meet their needs? Is it worthwhile? Is it confusing? What do they get out of it? Is it solving a problem? Is it helping to fill a gap, address an issue, or meet a need? Quantum computing, esport and gaming, space exploration and aerospace technology, social innovation, and impact entrepreneurship. That could be interesting. I'm going to highlight and copy that onto my Word document. All right, cultural and creative industries, not quite so much for me. Food, technology, and agriculture, innovation, educational technology, that's me, that's my field. I have a PhD in instructional technology, and so I have used it as an educator in terms of integrating technology into learning environments, designing online learning environments for learning purposes, so forth and so on. I've been an instructional technologist where I have actually helped others to do the same, as well as design learning modules and things of that nature for their, let's say, their Blackboard or their Canvas or their Moodle classroom, whether they taught online solely or if they did a hybrid and they had that as their learning management systems. One of those is their learning management systems. And then we have synthetic biology and bioinformatics, maybe in a previous time, but not today. So I have copied out my fields. And so now I'm going to take a look at the exploration. So once again, I've built out these 4 lessons. And so I'm going to start with this first one. The purpose of this is to get some scaffolding. So someone can start at 1, but hey, there are people who might look at step 1 or not step 1, but lesson 1 and say, I think I want to move on from this. So the first lesson, C1.0, exploration of career interest. I have an image here and it was generated by Dell E. So that is one of the aspects of ChatGPT that I have played with. In order to get this image, I do share that in my Patreon. So in my Patreon, I've posted the prompts that I've used to generate these images as well as the lessons. So this is the rule of thumb. Anything that you enter into ChatGPT belongs to you, but whatever comes out of it technically belongs to the AI that you're using. So ChatGPT in this case. And so this is the lesson that has come about as a result of me asking it to create one. And the objective of this lesson is to help individuals identify their general interest in technology and non-tech fields and begin exploring career opportunities. So once again, I'm going to actually, let me pin it. So I've pinned where you can hop on to the lessons. Right now I'm at lesson C 1.0. And so I'm just going through that here on my screen. If you join my Patreon, then you'll be able to see my screen as I move. Otherwise, you will be able to see it on TikTok and in other spaces after I edit it. So right now I'm talking through it. So that's the objective. The next part, step 1, respond to prompts. So use the following prompts to help guide your initial exploration of interest. What areas of technology do you find exciting or intriguing? Coding, cybersecurity, design, AI. So for the sake of today's conversation, I am interested in AI. So I'm going to highlight, copy that, and paste that onto my Word document. So once again, I'm keeping track of the things that I will use in my exploration. Now, the next question, what activities or hobbies do you enjoy outside of technology? So sports, arts, volunteering, cooking, etc. Well, you know what? Let me take a scroll down a little further. And here I have a list of examples of areas of technology. Those areas include artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, data science and analytics, cybersecurity, blockchain technology, Internet of Things, cloud computing, quantum computing. Quantum computing is way out there. And this is what I know about quantum computing. It goes beyond ones and zeros. So if you want to find out more about quantum computing, I want to encourage you to go ahead and look out and do a Google search and find out, is it worth your further inquiry? And feel free to put in the comments if you do know about quantum computing and you want to tell others about it. Other areas of technology include robotics and automation. So think about those automated cars that they're coming out with. Are those the types of things that interest you? Augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality, natural language processing, also known as NLP, big data, edge computing, computer vision, human computer interaction, so HCI, 5G technology, software development, mobile application development, web development, DevOps. So DevOps, take a look and look that up if you want to explore it further. Digital twins, bioinformatics, biotechnology, wearable technology. So we're talking about your Fitbits, we're talking about your Apple Watches, we're talking about those who wear different pieces of technology in order to detect their levels, their blood sugar levels that they can then scan with their phone and find out how they're doing. And then if they need to take their medicine to control their sugar levels, that's an example of a wearable technology. Autonomous vehicles, gaming technology, telecommunications, smart city technology. Now, I will say this about smart city technologies. I went to a conference and there was someone who was helping to develop smart cities technology, and they were using the power generated from people walking, like on the sidewalks. They were using different things that were just friction based this is my simplified version of it, friction based and generating energy. They were taking that energy in order to use that energy to power things in the city. And I thought that was amazing. Other areas of technology include e-commerce technology, financial technology, so fintech, anyone who's in business, even if you're not necessarily going to be the fintech person, you should know what's happening in fintech so you'll have an understanding of how technology is impacting your industry and where you fit along those lines. I do recall an alumni of the institution coming back to talk to students and explaining that although he graduated with a bachelor's in economics, he actually had to learn some coding in order to help him be a competitive person when it came to working in economics. And so it's good to know what's happening in the technology areas, even if you are not the specialist. So if you're in business, I would recommend knowing what's happening in fintech. If you're in health, I recommend knowing what's going on with health technologies. So even if you're not creating the health technologies, having an understanding of what's happening there can help you along your way. So either getting training on how to use it or being able to provide feedback to those who are creating the health technologies based on what you know as an expert in the field. Educational technologies, that's something that anyone in education, from the teachers, the students, on up, they need to have a good understanding of. When people get to undergraduate school, you have to have a good dexterity when it comes to how to navigate a learning space, an online learning space. Even if you're in a traditional program where you're in class, you still will need to know how that educational technology impacts what's happening in your space. Agricultural technology, very important. Green technology, 3D printing, nanotechnology, quantum cryptography, sustainable technology, geospatial technology, energy technology, media and entertainment technology, supply chain and logistic technology, digital marketing technology, CRM systems and technology. For those of you who work in education, the CRMs are going to be the things that handle like your students in terms of onboarding them, taking them into your school, having their identification information that goes along with it, keeping track of the credits they complete, as well as the payments that they make and the payments that are placed on their accounts as a result of financial aid. Those CRMs will also manage donations that are brought into the company. It'll manage the spending, so how funds are spent at an institution. It's going to be the system behind what goes on at that institution, as in terms of student information, financial information, and the like. So when I pay bills, it engages with the CRM. When I pay out stipends, it involves that as well. When people are hired, their information is there, the direct deposit. So CRMs are those things that are used in the background to manage those types of things. So that's just a general description. Please feel free to look up CRM systems and technology to find out more about them. Content management systems, so those can be websites. The content management systems can be places that are available to others. The example I can share would be for my graduate research assistantship students. They were in an after-school program, but they were not enrolled. And so they had to figure out a way to manage their content that they wanted to get to students that did not require them to have login information associated with their educational system, because they were actually a part of this. So I see Raphael, oh geez, Teachers Associations is not happy. I appreciate this topic in an open platform. Promise I'm not a bot. Thank you for not being a bot, Raphael. I appreciate you for being here. The thing is about using AI as an assistant, I want to get at it not being the answer, but a resource. And so the purpose for getting at it in terms of being a resource, that means you're using it. And if I can help you use it in a way that it helps to decrease your cognitive load when it comes to handling some tasks, then it can allow you to spend more time on the things that matter most. So I wish many more took this subject serious. It is very serious. And the reason that I want to push it and help others to explore it more is because if you can get it to help fill in your gaps, then it becomes your personal tutor as opposed to your cheat sheet. I want you to figure out how to ask it to give you guiding questions so that those topics that you're not understanding, you can ask it for guiding questions around cellular respiration. I'm just going to pull from my biology standpoint. So if I'm working with cellular respiration, can you please provide me with a study guide for someone who's new to biology? I'm in 9th grade, and these are the notes that I have, but for some reason, I'm not understanding how something like food that I consume turns into the ATP that shows up at the end. What's another way of explaining it to me? If it was a comic strip what would the characters sound like? So, what characters are in play? Let those be the names of the different parts of the cell, their structure, their function. Let those be the names of the characters. What are they saying to each other when food is taken in until it becomes actual ATP energy that the body can then use? What happens when I take in sugars and it doesn't get used and some of it gets stored as fat? What what does that look like? Can you create a story that I could tell a third grader to help me understand the concept? So that's different from just plugging in. This is the question from my homework about cellular respiration. What's the answer? How many ATP are produced at the end? What's the answer? What's organelle actually performs the function of cellular respiration? So instead of asking it for the answer, ask it to tell you how to get there. So what's the story behind it? What's something that's going to help me remember it so that the next time I engage it and see these funny looking structures, how are they going to help me along the way? And so that's a part of what I want to get at when we're talking about using AI as an assistant. All right, so L.A. Raymond, thank you for joining. I wish many more took this subject seriously. Raphael said, made by humans for humans. L.A. Raymond, as an audio engineer, I've seen firsthand the power of automation and AI. AI is a tool, not a replacement. Exactly. People with no understanding have taken over the subject and have made it doomsday gibberish. I hear you. It's going to take over. It's going to rule the world. My question is, where do you find yourself in this era? Do you have enough information so that you can make informed decisions about how to use it, what you will allow it to do, and what you will not allow it to do? Will you allow it to drive your car? Or is that where you're drawing the line for yourself? And the other thing with education, everybody needs to know something enough so that when it comes time to make a decision, you're making an informed decision. Thank you so much for your engagement. So I'm just going to, I have a few more areas in terms of technology. So speech recognition technology, collaborative technology, customer experience, so CX technology, and then examples of hobbies outside of tech. Whatever those look like for you, I'll just list off a few. So sports, running or jogging, yoga and meditation, hiking and camping, cycling and swimming. I'm going to select, I do sing, but I'm not going to pick that. Reading, traveling, bird watching, interesting. So all of these, I essentially asked ChatGPT to help me out by providing me with a list of hobbies outside of technology, as well as example areas of technology, so that I can then take them and explore things further. So I pulled out from the industries, I pulled out educational services, arts, entertainment, and recreation, public administration, artificial intelligence, UX and UI design, social innovation and impact entrepreneurship, educational technology, and then AI. So now I'm going to go to the next part of the lesson. I'm on lesson C 1.0, and the next question is, I'll work with arts. That'll be my hobby outside of tech. Thank you for tuning in to the BlackLiberation.Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renee Jordan. We hope today's episode has inspired you and provided valuable insights to help you navigate your academic and professional journey with confidence and success. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, as well as rate and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. Whether you're guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, tackling undergraduate or graduate studies, working on a dissertation or thesis, or exploring your career options, this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Join our community on patreon.com/blackliberationtech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll enjoy exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. Don't forget to follow Black Liberation Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventures, available in both English and Spanish. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.